This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
One of my favorite games of all time, and it's a game that means a lot to me, and there's going to be a lot of story in here. But I broke it out recently because I haven't played it in a while. But this is actually the 1.2 version of it. And it's the 1.2 version of Middara, which was just such a fantastic and ambitious project. I'm sorry, I have a broken ankle, so I really can't move around too much with this, but lifting this thing, you don't have to worry about getting your exercise because there's so much in this. And the reason for this video is after playing the more cleaned up 1.2 version of this, it really made me think about when they eventually release Act 2 and how good that's going to be. I think they've learned so much from it, and you could see all the improvements that they made from the very first incarnation of this, which was just I enjoyed it to no end. But you know, the little nuances and the changes and the cleaning up of things and the rule book and everything, and how everything flows just so much better, and the placement of how everything goes into the box and how they've learned so much. I can imagine that, you know, when Act 2, and I know it's been a while, and I honestly don't know when Act 2 will be coming out, but I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be something I will definitely purchase and bring in and showcase, because this really is probably one of the greatest Japanese RPGs. It has that feel to it that I've ever played, and Succubus Printing with Brooklyn and all the other people that have put so much time into this, and their heart and their love and their passion into it. You can never get tired of this. It really just does so many things well, and it's a beautiful game, and it's a nice game to come back to after a while. And when Act 2 comes out, I can only imagine what that's going to be like. Last time I checked, and it was a long time ago, they were in the final throes of it, but you know, maybe this year, hopefully. But I can tell you that if you are somebody that have played this in the past, or looking, or kind of him and hawing over how long it took to get Act 2 out, I think you should be excited about it, especially after what I've seen with the 1.2 version of this, and it shows so much growth and intelligence by this wonderful team, and their wonderful effort of putting this fantastic game together with all the beauty and everything else that comes with it. It is a spectacular system that does so many beautiful things, and it's a game that if you don't have it now, I suggest getting and getting a feel for it. It was a game that was for its time back then, and this is before I screwed up my arm, and I'll tell you a story about that. As a matter of fact, it's funny. I had my set, and then these guys were so nice, and they sent me a set and whatnot. But they had asked me almost 3 weeks before Gen Con, and I wasn't going. And I think it was actually a little bit before that. They said, "Hey, is there any way you can paint something for our showcase?" And I said, "Well, what do you need?" They go, "Well, we would love for you to paint the base game." And they had an expansion as well that they sent that they wanted painted. And by the time it got to me, I only had 3 weeks, which means I had to get it to them before. I had till that Saturday to get it to them, to mail it. I'll never forget it. And then what? I popped my bicep and tore my bicep. So I was in a lot of pain, and I was trying to paint, and there was no way I was going to get it done. So there was this guy locally who was really kind of, I don't want to say too much, but I asked him, I go, can you help me? I need somebody. He goes, well, it's going to cost this much. I go, can you get it done? He goes, yeah, I'll put all my time into it. I go, okay. And I said, well, the things that I paint, what I'll do is if I can just get him to paint some of the other figures that I can't paint, I'll switch his figures and my figures, because essentially it'll still be me painting it. It's just, maybe half of the figures would be the guy that painted it. And the guy was kind of whatever, but it cost me $1,000 to have it painted. But I had such a love and passion for these guys, I didn't care. I was going to do whatever it took. And then I had to ship it to them. And because I remember waiting in the parking lot, and I'm calling the guy. I go, I got to get this out this morning. And he's not picking up, and he's not picking up, and he's not picking up. And I waited there like an hour and a half in a parking lot when I was supposed to meet him at 9 o'clock. He shows up at 10:30 with the rest of the stuff. I get home. I take the pieces that that I like that he did, and then I took a majority of my stuff that I was able to get done and put it all in there, get it, and I ship it to Gen Con. So, and I wrote them, and did you get it? Did you guys get it? They go, yeah, we did. And that was the last I heard from the guys. All my rehab and all the other stuff that I went through with my arm. And, I didn't keep in touch with the guys. But, I loved what they did so much. I was willing to pay out of my pocket to help them get that. This is a behind the scenes thing that you don't see, to get them to have a display case with all this stuff. Was he a better painter than me? He was okay. And some of the stuff I was like, oh, great. I think I would have took a little more time with. But, to be able to get that done in 3 weeks was impossible as it was. But we were able to get all the figures in this base set. And every time I look at it, I think of this. And a whole bunch of other stuff to them, so they could showcase it and play with painted figures, which I was happy to do. Just nice, kind, good-hearted people, and I think you should support them. And I truly, honestly believe that Act 2 will be out soon, and you should start looking for it, start checking their sites. But this game here is just something special, and I think, if you have a chance to get the 1.2 version of it, really get it and see the growth and the absolute beauty that they've put in to this absolute masterpiece. And it is a massive ordeal that I always enjoy playing. I love the theme. I love the art. I love the storytelling. I love everything that they've done with this. It really is a masterful piece of work. And if they can get 1.2 to this, I can only imagine what they've learned and what they're going to do with Act 2, which should be just glorious. And we should be getting excited for that, because I believe it'll be coming soon, that's for sure. And it's something to look forward to. Sometimes it's worth all the wait. The same thing with King Death Monster, how everybody waited for things, and then when it comes, everybody kind of forgets that they waited so long and are just happy with the fantastic work that'll be done. I think this is kind of falls in the same line of just being perfection and just a beautiful piece of art. So Middara Act 2, but don't close your eyes on Middara Act 1 1.2. Really, really well done piece of work here. So until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.
Be sure to check out tradingcardmarket.com, your one-stop shop for all sports cards, non-sports cards, and of course, trading card games. Sign up now, get 10% off your first $50 order. Tradingcardmarkets.com. Great prices, great company, great cards.